OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate. Niggas don't know what to think. Thought I get money and change. What you thought we was the same? Still stay away from them clones. Niggas better leave me alone. Talking about niggas is low. Run with niggas who don't know you. Whoa, I make that zagging when city to city. You niggas not hot in your state. If it was money to get a hit Henny, we get it and never complain. Same go for the gang, and we split it up all the same. I can't really eat, let's stay straight, cause we go way back in the day. My day ones from back in the day, they still hang around me today. You wanna come round us, you can't. I'm rolling up loud, it's great. But mama, she bad but complain, cause I'm too in love with my dreams. And I gotta get on the plane, and go get this money with Dizzy. I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang.
I get the bag with the gang, taking that Zach to the bank. Henny be all in my drink. You niggas is stupid, you think that shit change? You not even hot in your gang. Ain't nothing even hot about your gang. You niggas be lying about same. Be posting them pictures of guns for the fame. Niggas just look at me different now. Say that's your man, but he a clown. Don't fuck around with the fuck arounds. Little nigga, you should cut it out. Me and my niggas take different routes. Punch a bitch nigga all in his mouth. Hold up my nigga, we different now. I need a Robert, this is my style. I get a check today, I spent it all tomorrow. I get a bitch today, she probably a foreign model. I get a check today, I spent it all tomorrow. I'm with my gang today, tomorrow never promise.
OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang. OG, I draw up the plate, and then he go get the cake. Then we link up with the gang, gang, gang.
I think I'm cute, I know I'm sexy, I've got the look that drives the girls while I got the moves that really move them. I send chills up and down their spines, I'm just a sexy boy. Are y'all ready to go? What is this? What is this, episode 502? I can't even count anymore. The United States champion is here. It is time to get the party started. I make them hot. I make them shiver. They just get weak whenever I'm around. They see me walk. They hear me talk. I make them feel like their God ain't real. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. That might flip though. Hands off the merchandise. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. Welcome, welcome everybody to another edition of the Pocket Locker Podcast. I am your host with the most, all the way from the East Coast. And as always, folks, I am in airplane mode. Folks, we have got another great edition lined up for you, and I cannot wait to get into it, so let's go ahead and get this party started. Y'all already know the drill. If you don't, act like you do. Please greet your neighbors, catch a vibe. It is time for our communion. Please raise your glasses and hold on to your asses. Through him, with him, in him, in the unity of the flying man. All glory and honor is yours who flied for our sins forever and ever. You may drink. All right, that was our communion hymn, and now for our communion song. This one comes to us from OG Ruddy.
Ready for takeoff?
Whoa. Working hard on my stump. What's the problem? I ain't had shit to show, being modest. Now it's grams to the wax for my conscience. Brown James in LA, you're on college. I've been jumping on them planes like a hobby. Still moving with the pack like my partners. Just the John on them jets cause you wildin'. But the bowl is a party on the
island moment of silence. Now y'all know, I'm gonna tell you what happens. I literally sit here and play this whole thing
moment of silence
during sound check.
So good, get back to the
It goes
topic.
fine.
Grew up, it was me and Flock.
And then the record starts skipping when we go live.
I ain't even for the pain when my pops flipped.
Making me look like I ain't played this song twice during
Mom
sound
said,
check.
you the man, son, you got this. Ever since I found a way to go and pop
Pop some
shit.
more, bitch.
Hold up, blaze through a whole zip. Took a seat at the table of my first flip.
Whoa.
Days in red roof with my first whip. Spent the money with the gang, never post pics. Seen a change in the game, had to coach it. Never let them take my wangs in the mold, bitch. Never made in a month, nigga. Used to serve him at the minute just to front, nigga.
Goddamn.
Had to grow up quick, I made my own rules. Had my first child, got it jumping with music. Can't really hang with nobody who lose.
We catching the vibe.
I thought by now that
It's
you would go
Thursday
and get it.
afternoon,
But
but
I
we
could
don't
hardly
care.
see
We can
niggas
vibe
as distant.
anytime,
Know you get
anywhere,
caught if
any
you
day.
not in
Let's
the
go.
picture. And I made that zag and went got a bag. Shots to the Henny and OG prescriptions, put rebel shit on the map. Took a leap from where I started at.
Get some weed, get some liquor. I'll turn your Thursday afternoon to a Friday night.
I'm on a roll, gotta call him back.
And that's all facts. Damn, ain't my cousin talented, y'all? Damn. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead. Let's hit number 2 real quick. We deep into vibe territory today. We gonna catch number 2. This one's for Events. It's the classic. It's the community theme song. It's that cheers where everybody knows your name. Let's go.
And he's going to play us out. For you're going to play what to finish us up?
Do you know what? I don't know the name of this song actually, but I know the song, and so will you.
Oh, look forward to this. 5 bands, take it away.
All right, let's see. I got Carrie Ann Chrysler first.
Making your way in the world today.
Actually, I got to look at
takes
the trees
everything
first.
you got.
There we go. I'm looking at it.
Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same.
All right, I got Carrie
You
Ann
wanna
Chrysler,
go
number
where
3rd.
everybody knows your
Good to see
name.
you, Carrie Ann.
Well, all those nights when you got no lights and the check is in the mail and your little angel on
I'm glad to hear the garden's come along well.
Your third fiance didn't show.
You have to send us some pics soon.
Well, sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows.
All right, I got
your
Lena
name.
third. Hey, Lena.
And you're always glad they came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same.
All right, we got.
You wanna
Look
go
at the
where
trees.
everybody knows your name.
Carrie Ann Chrysler, Lena. Good to see all you guys.
You
Logan
get out of
Fisher's
bed,
here.
Coffee's dead. The morning isn't looking bright. You shrink right off. to
UC
your
Love is in the
abide.
house. Secular
Doesn't
Rarity
even
is here.
rain. Your girlfriend says she's not a girl. Be
All right, so
glad
good to see
there's one
everybody
place
here.
in the world where everybody knows your name.
Actually, I need to get the soundboard going. Let's
Always
do that
glad
real
you
quick.
came. You wanna be where you can see troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. You wanna be where you
Ready
can
to go.
see troubles are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name.
Unmute in the Gather gang.
Boy, Vance. Most common word coming in by text, boy, is goosebumps. Believe it or not, we've had that repeatedly across the
All
whole
right,
series.
gang.
If you want,
We are, in fact, in Gather in the cafe. You can see it here, looking lovely. You can join us using the pinned link in the description. We will be here literally all day, working on my move. I'm sure we'll be watching YouTube videos and keeping track of what's going on the interwebs. We watch sports together. There's an NBA playoff game tonight we'll be watching. We've been watching a lot of HBO Max. We've been watching Succession and Oz. But yeah, go ahead, join us and Gather. It's a lobby. We are in fact in the cafe. All right, gang. On today's agenda, you can see the beautiful cafe scene there behind me. Got my cafe muse to my left over here. Feeling real good, y'all. All right, so look, I'm gonna just run y'all through the agenda real quick. The first thing up is we are gonna talk about South Carolina and their new fucked up ass abortion laws. Like, gang, you cannot sleep on these Republic trash for not even a day. We literally have to stay woke. There's noise coming from somewhere, like a radio or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's like my phone is on. It's crazy. Y'all, I think I'm losing my mind. I think I'm going crazy. All right. But seriously, we're going to hear about that. Then we're going to jump on into Clarence Found it. Oh, it's the stream playing back to me on my tablet. That was driving me crazy. I didn't mute it all the way. All right, cool. All right, then we're gonna talk about Clarence Thomas's Pimp's weird. Yeah, I called him his pimp, y'all. Come on, let's be real. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this fool Harlan Crow, who you already know bought Clarence Thomas's mom's house. Paid for his nephew's private tuition, flies this man all around the world on private jets. We have always known Clarence Thomas is a coon of the highest order with absolutely no fucking integrity. We always have known that this man was just, he was bought off, that he was a sellout. Right? No, don't no real ones be raising their kids up celebrating the fucking legacy of one Clarence Fuckface Thomas. Nobody does that shit. But now the story gets even deeper because now we have reason to believe his pimps are fucking Nazi sympathizers. You're surprised. You're shocked. Look, gang, we need ratings. We need the algorithmic pop. We need something to do. So I'm going to need y'all out there to fucking pretend that you are super surprised that the people that bought off one Clarence F. Fuckface Thomas happen to be some fucking bigoted ass racist Nazi sympathizers. Just pretend that shit is shocking, gang, okay? We got to do what we got to do around here. And then y'all know we are going to get into the main event, and that is going to be us looking at Indigo's story about why she's no longer a Christian. Why? Because it is that time in people's life. It is time to stop being a Christian. And so we're going to let yet another person walk us on through the process. All right, gang, let's go ahead and take off on this shit.
If you are a Christian conservative in America, Christian in scare quotes, things are going pretty great for you. You get taxpayer money to fund your kids' religious instruction. The Supreme Court ripped up years of precedent to side with your particular religious point of view. Drag queens and trans people are scared to death, as are the immigrants.
As are their fucking friends and allies. Drag people and our trans fam are scared to death. Go ahead, talk about it, Joey Reid.
That woke Jesus had such a soft spot for. And gun laws are looser, not stricter, so your weird killer version of Jesus can fire away. Now, if you happen to be part of the majority that opposes these things, you're out of luck. Look to South Carolina for the latest example. Roughly 24 hours ago, the state's legislature, for the second time, passed legislation that prohibits abortions at about 6 weeks, when most women do not even know they are pregnant. And the fetal heart, as we know it, does not yet exist. Governor Henry McMaster has vowed
She's doing
to
good work with
into
the
law.
seat, Carrie-Ann, for
South
sure.
Carolina had become an abortion refuge in the Southeast as other
Hard to
southern
hear the
states
truth in the
rushed to strip
mainstream.
the rights of women. This new ban allows abortion only to prevent the death of the pregnant woman or when there is a serious risk of a substantial and irreversible impairment of a major bodily function or in cases of rape, incest, or fatal anomalies in the fetus. But of course, the requirements issued to meet those standards are onerous and invasive. For example, if you're impregnated from rape or incest and seeking an abortion, you have to report it to the sheriff in the county where the crime took place within 24 hours of when the abortion is performed. Your doctor must also inform you that they will report the rape too, which could be a huge deterrent if your attacker also lives in that town or in your house. Doctors also have to rationalize why a woman needs an abortion if her health or the baby's health is in question to avoid breaking the law. I guess medical evidence is not sufficient. The doctors then have to keep a copy of your records for 7 years after performing the abortion. You know, just in case someone might want to accuse you of getting an abortion illegally later, I guess. Passage of this bill ended a filibuster by the
And
states.
this is what's crazy. And shout out to Midas Touch. This is why when I was coming up, I really, as someone who wanted to train in law, I really loved reading laws and legal codes because it will blow your mind what they actually say. And it bothers me that we fundamentally have a society so dictated by laws that people never fucking read. It just feels like that should be somehow more a part of what we do, right? Like stories should come with links, and broadcasters should be encouraging people to read the actual language of these laws. So shout out to the Midas Touch Network, because they actually do quite a bit of diving in and sharing what's actually in the laws, and good on Joy for making people aware of, not just the 6-week ban, right? Because that's the easy piece to understand, but not all, but some of the major, accompanying regulations that are gonna really be affecting people. Anyway, y'all, I guess what I'm realizing is part of staying woke is we have to stay well read, not just on the news of the day, but the actual policies and laws that are potentially impacting us where possible. Because it's scary how much what we used to call a Tucker Carlson Fox News talking point, I guess now we'll call a rotating talking heads Fox News talking point, actually is becoming the law of the land. Just scary shit that, I don't know, just is really recalling World War II vibes for me with the way we're treating people. It's just got that essence in the air, y'all.
Senate's 5 women senators, including 3 Republicans, a Democrat, and an independent, who were the bill's most outspoken opponents. That didn't matter to Republican Tom Davis, who told the Washington Post, quote, "At some point in time, the right of the state to see the unborn child born does take precedent over the woman's right to her body."
Wrong. Like, we just have to be so clear. Like no, that's wrong. Nope. At no point does the state's right to do a goddamn thing take precedence over a woman's bodily autonomy. Just wrong. Just no. Nope. And again, that's more that scary bullshit that these people literally want to control people's right because the state has a right to see a child. What?
At it, so
Fuck
I
out of
will
here.
under his eye. Joining me now is one of those 5 sister senators, independent South Carolina State Senator Mia McLeod. Senator McLeod, thank you for being here. I just wonder how it felt to you as one of the few women in that state Senate to watch the men of that body take control of the women in your state and their bodies.
Well, Joy, thanks for having me. And I've said many times that the men in the South Carolina Senate, they speak with authority because they can't speak from experience. And so, it wasn't a surprise to us that we were not successful this time, although it was very disheartening. We did have the help of Senator Davis and 2 other Republican men to defeat the total ban, but they left us this time, and they left the women and girls of South Carolina. And, we are going to continue. This fight continues.
And I should note that, as you said, you all were doing a filibuster. You had the support of at least one man, and they abandoned you on this revote for this new bill. Now, the original abortion ban did not survive a test in the state Supreme Court. My understanding is the only thing that's changed is not so much this bill, but it's the makeup of the court. South Carolina is now one of the few states in the country, maybe the only state, with an all-male Supreme Court after the lone woman on it retired. So basically, it is men deciding that women can't get abortions, and it is all men who will decide if the law is legal, right? So
absolutely, and both have changed. Both have changed. The bill changed significantly from its original version when we talk about the 6-week abortion ban. But the Republican majority has stacked the Supreme Court now with an all-male Supreme Court. We are the only state in the country that has an all-male Supreme Court, and it is for this reason. It was for this purpose.
This is just insane.
We've got major fights ahead of us.
Yeah, like, gang, like, I don't know. I always tell people I'm not a patriot. Let me just reinforce that. I'm not a patriot. I have no pride about being an American. I have no love for this country. Just a deep sense of shame, disappointment, and embarrassment. People like this are supposed to be destitute, shunned, on the margins of society, because their bigotries and biases make them unhospitable. Nobody in their family really wants to talk to them or spend time with them. No, they have a hard time having healthy friendships. Nobody wants to hire these people. And the problem is really, of course, part of the problem is the wacko senators and state Supreme Court people and all of this type of shit with the powerful politicians. But the far bigger problem is the people. It's the people. It's the masses. It's the millions of South Carolina who think this is okay. Who think this is acceptable behavior. Who vote for these people. Who support these theocratic policies. Who literally want to make America live under biblical law. It's disgusting. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
We were successful in defeating the total ban with the help of those 3 Republican colleagues. But yesterday, we were not successful in defeating the 6-week ban. And I'm sure a legal challenge has already
exactly, Wayne. It's the people,
mounted,
not the fucking flags.
We will continue to fight. The Supreme Court will have to rule on whether this 6-week ban passes is constitutional or passes constitutional muster. It didn't before. I can't imagine that it would. If it's based on the Constitution, it won't pass muster again. But now that we have an all-male Supreme Court, there is no female voice. There is no female perspective on the court.
And then they know what time it is, gang. Let's keep it 100%. They put these motherfuckers in this position exactly to do this shit. So what the fuck you think they straight Supreme Court? Fuck out of here. That all-male Supreme Court strikes this shit down. Somebody remind me I'll send $5 to a fucking Republican in South Carolina. They gonna uphold that shit, and they know what time it is, and y'all already know what I mean by that. They know exactly where the United States Supreme Court is on this shit. So they know it's time to strike while the iron is hot, because they know the Supreme Court is gonna have their back. So she's dead on. They changed the shit, they chuking and driving, and now they pushing this shit right on through the finish line.
For a time such as this.
The Southeast is now essentially the handmaid's tale for women in this country. There is no state in the South where a woman has control of her body, you know, all the way west to Texas, all the way across, including your state now. What in the world are women going to do? And girls,
again,
we know that South Carolina
rights.
has a very high maternal mortality rate, particularly for Black women. So my guess is a lot of Southern women and a lot of Black women are going to die.
Get out of here, man.
They are.
That's ridiculous.
And a lot of women are going to die. A lot of girls are going to die.
And they just, that's just
blood
open.
is going to be on the
That's what people know. They don't care.
the Republican
don't
Party
care.
and their insatiable need to control
You might as well have
us,
told them fucking vermin
with
rodents are gonna
ridiculous
die.
bans that are harmful, that are dangerous, that are
They'd be
hurtful.
like, poor rats.
It's not going to stop, though. If you know anything about South Carolina, you know that
Those rats are part of South
and we are not
Carolina's
alone
history.
in this. But the same proponents of these abortion bans are the ones who said that COVID-19 was a hoax.
Yep,
and
there you go.
they opposed
Boom.
mask mandates. And they opposed.
And the talking head of the day award goes to this beautiful, well-read queen here in the fucking blue. Oh, just the fucking talking head of the day award. Y'all know me. I'm a fucking shill. I'm a fucking mark. I'm a fucking sellout. You cannot talk about COVID-19 enough for me because it was pulling the motherfucking card of every motherfucker in society. We got to see exactly who the shitheads were in every single room. Every single time. We should never forget it. Y'all, we are still living through the ramifications of this motherfucking once in a fucking century fucking pandemic, and let us not do the grave disservice to all of the lives lost, all of the sickness, all of the lost productivity, all of the depression to the economy, to people's well-being. Let us never forget. I swear to God, if we don't start talking about this COVID-19 at least, and not a whole lot more than we talked about motherfucking 9/11, y'all are still not understanding what the fuck happened.
Temporary shutdowns and even vaccination. I've been open about the fact that I live with sickle cell anemia. And, you know, my colleagues during the height of the pandemic, when we were being called back for ridiculous bills like this, refused to even wear a mask to protect
Great point, secularity.
So
it's always been, the cruelty has always been the point with these people.
During the height of the pandemic, slave wages. And, you know, they are the same folks who refuse to even let us debate a hate crimes bill. So they're not about life. They're not pro-life.
Indeed. And I think what they want is not just the 1950s, but perhaps the 1850s. I will summarize it there. This is the state whose governor said they want to hunt Democrats with dogs, and most Democrats.
Yeah, Karen, I think that fool's going to talk about that.
That too was this week, if I'm not mistaken. Yes,
indeed. South Carolina.
They want to hunt Democrats with dogs, y'all. They want to hunt Democrats with dogs. These, again, y'all, there's no pride in this country. Let's talk about this question of the day. So Carrie Ann, the museum is cool, you know, that's what a lot of people would say. But, you know, that's it's not what happened. That's not what he did.
The owner of the Garden
to say the least
wants to assure you that the one thing he has never done in his Garden of Evil is discuss Supreme Court opinions with Clarence Thomas, who is his best friend. Harlan Crow and Clarence Thomas have not used the term best friend to describe one another, but how could Clarence Thomas ever have a better friend? Texas billionaire Harlan Crow, who calls his backyard the Garden of Evil because it is populated with statues of some of the most evil men in history, has allowed Clarence Thomas to live more of the life of a billionaire than any of us ever will. The trips on the private jets, the trips on the yacht. And Harlan Crow has pumped money directly into the joint income of Clarence Thomas and his wife. Harlan Crow contributed more than enough money to fully fund Virginia Thomas's salary at one of the places she once worked. And Harlan Crow allows Clarence Thomas's mother to live rent-free in a house that Harlan Crow bought from Clarence Thomas, putting some of the purchase price of that house directly into Clarence Thomas's pocket. Harlan Crow then fixed up the house, and now Clarence Thomas's mother is living at no expense at all to Clarence Thomas, all thanks to the best friend a Supreme Court justice could ever have, as long as that justice does not mind being exposed as the most corrupt Supreme Court justice the court has ever had. If there has been a more corrupt Supreme Court justice than Clarence Thomas, then that corruption has remained secret. No such corruption has ever been made public. In an interview with The Atlantic, published today, Harlan Crow...
I don't know, yeah. I gotta just reserve a little suspicion here. As an African American, I always reserve the right to dig into America's past and find you some more corrupt and racist shit that people just aren't talking about or have conveniently forgotten. Because y'all do realize, like, I'm pretty sure we're gonna find some slave owners, some KKK members, we're gonna find a lot of this type of stuff if we look hard enough. But maybe to his point, maybe they did at least keep this shit under wraps as far as their official Supreme Court duties are concerned or whatever.
Expresses astonishment that anyone could ever be concerned about the integrity of Clarence Thomas. I have never, nor would I ever, think about talking about matters that relate to the judiciary with Justice Clarence Thomas, Crow said. He told The Atlantic they talk about things like the weather and sports, and then decided to amend that after the interview in an email saying, quote, "It is not realistic for two people to be friends and not talk about their jobs from time to time. Thomas has spoken to him of his fondness for his clerks or about bumping into Justice Stephen Breyer at Target." But Crow wrote that it would be wrong for him to talk about court cases. From my point of view, that is off limits. He and I don't go there. And so if you're comfortable taking Texas billionaire Harlan Crow's word for it, there's nothing to be worried about. But it is hard to be comfortable with anything.
And again, gang, I am just not with it. Sorry. I think it's just that I was raised by Christians, and I don't buy any of it. These motherfuckers just lie. That's just the way they are. Look, it's not a game. The game is not about doing the right thing. The game is about knowing what to say. The game is not about integrity. The game is about weaponizing plausible deniability. The game is about giving away what you can give away without risk and, tiptoeing around the inconvenient truth. So I just don't buy it. And a lot of y'all could be fools if you want to, but I gotta say, at some point, people who buy into this nonsense just want to provide cover for corruption. That's all. That's all they're trying to do. Because, yeah, they could say whatever the fuck they want to say. You just shouldn't be dumb enough to believe it.
That Harlan Crow says, including, quote, "The kids used to be scared of them." That's what he said about the statues in his Garden of Evil, which include Lenin and Stalin and other dictators from around the world, dead dictators. What manner of man puts statues of evildoers in his garden and then enjoys them?
Yeah, like the Holocaust Museum.
What kind of father leaves them there knowing that his kids are scared by them? Wandering around the Garden of Evil, Harlan Crow told his Atlantic interviewer, quote, "I'm not looking to be odd." Well, he has failed miserably. The Atlantic makes the mistake of printing the line, "He feels he has acted with the purest and most honorable intentions." No one at The Atlantic knows what Harlan Crow feels. But this is exactly the kind of misconception that access journalism always produces. You will see that kind of reporting in the New York Times and everywhere that access journalism is practiced. The journalistically correct way to deliver that line would be to say, he claims he has acted with the purest and most honorable intentions. That leaves open the possibility that he did act with the purest and most honorable intentions, and it leaves open the possibility that he didn't. But the Atlantic has...
Nope, it doesn't. It leaves open the possibility of billionaire has thing to say that makes him look like he's not the asshole he truly is. No, there's just no... Sorry, there's no... See, here's the thing. You just gotta... context matters, time matters, culture matters, the moment matters, what's going on matters. So here's the deal: if you're Carrie Ann or somebody like that, hey, shit, all the people in favor of historical education in the room, raise your hands, right? So what we do, right, is you get a hold of the Garden of Evil or some Nazi memorabilia. And what are you doing the next day? You're on the phone. Yeah, is this the Holocaust Museum? Yeah. Hey, Holocaust Museum. You know what? Guess what I just got? Yeah, I just got my hands on some Nazi memorabilia, right? So guess what it's about to not do? Yeah, it's not about to chill at the Bundy residence. But what do we do to get this memorabilia into the hands of history? Right? Or you're like, oh yeah, fuck the Nazi the fucking Holocaust Museum in the Capitol, because y'all, man, I've been there. That place is fucking depressing. You want to talk about a sad place to go? Trust me, y'all got plenty of shit to help people know exactly what was going on. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna rent us one of them Fortnite buses. We're gonna trick that shit out with fucking Nazi memorabilia and paint mass graves on the fucking outside of the bus, and we're gonna do like a touring fucking version of the fucking Holocaust Museum with this memorabilia. And we just want to make sure y'all are not gonna sue us. Okay, so can we talk to your attorney? Can we work this out real quick so we can make sure again that we get this memorabilia into the hands of history right away? Because you know what this Nazi memorabilia is not about to do? Yeah, again, it's not about to chill in the Bundy residence. You good? You got that? Okay, cool.
Decided to remove your option as a reader and present to you as a fact that the Atlantic knows what Harlan Crow feels. The more you know about him, the more impossible it is to know.
And gang, where am I going with all this? Otherwise, if you don't turn it over, how is anybody to distinguish you from a pro-Nazi sympathizer who wants to geek out and collect Nazi memorabilia? Right? Everybody knows this. We know we are living in a time where neo-Nazis are fucking everybody upside down, left and sideways. We are living in a time where we know there are fucking weirdos out there who are collecting and trading in fucking dark history, usually bigoted ass white people who literally have apparently nothing to better do with their money and keep telling on themselves by spending ridiculous amounts of cash to celebrate and preserve the darkest elements of, global conflict. And again, we're supposed to fall for the fucking butter biscuits. Oh yeah, I just built the Garden of Evil. Yeah, I just got a bunch of fucking Nazi memorabilia chilling around. Oh, but trust me, no. I'm not a Nazi sympathizer. What? Oh, Nazi sympathizers do this? What? This is the behavior that's exactly the same as a Nazi sympathizer? What? No. See, like exactly, y'all, come on. I'm not falling for this okie doke.
What he feels. What would you feel holding Hitler's teapot in your hand? Could you do it? If you were in a room,
Yeah, Logan, that's
and
one of
were
the best
told
parts about DC.
that was Hitler's teapot, would you?
And for those that haven't been to a Holocaust museum, you really should go. But yeah, it's real fucked up. It is a place. It is a place that makes a permanent impression upon you, no matter what stage in life you visit it. It is a fucked up place, and it makes you think long and hard, not just about the Holocaust, but what it means to preserve and display and commemorate in a way, the horrible things in our history, right? There's a seriousness to all of this that, yeah, I got a couple of SS uniforms up in the attic. It does not convey.
Touch it? Would you want to? Would your fingers be drawn to the handle of that teapot that brought comfort to Adolf Hitler while he was
talking about Hitler's
exterminating
teapot.
6 million Jews in his death camps?
Which this guy has.
What would it feel like to touch that handle? If you dared. Harlan Crow knows he owns the teapot. He claims it's important that such things be preserved, but do they need to be preserved in his home? Couldn't he, after paying a billionaire's ransom for Hitler's teapot and pictures painted by Hitler and Hitler's table linens, couldn't Harlan Crow donate them to the appropriate archive of such material? Why own them? Why have them in?
And again, gang, can you imagine all of the fucking poor black and Jewish kids that go through Harlan Crow's home and just get the fucking deep ass history lesson that he provides for them in his Garden of Evil as he sits there sipping from Hitler's teapot? And yeah, I added that part in because fuck it, why not? Again, you're probably laughing because, again, this billionaire asshole who literally pimps out a Supreme Court justice, there's not a fucking fighting dog's chance that this motherfucker actually lets, like, enough people into his home that he is somehow doing some sort of reasonable historic education by maintaining these items. This is bullshit. This is just complete and utter bullshit. Okay? It is like me saying I run a fucking summer camp for children's activities outside my home, and then you come to see this summer camp, and it turns out I just have a slide and a swing in the backyard for my fucking kids and a couple of their friends in the neighborhood. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on this.
Your home. Why sleep under the same roof with Hitler's possessions, things Hitler touched? Can the Atlantic tell us what Harlan Crow feels when his hand grips Hitler's teapot? Can the Atlantic tell us?
Secular
what Harlan
rarity.
Crow
I'm with you.
feels
This feels
when
like
he
it should be
falls asleep
criminal.
in a house where he knows
Yeah,
Hitler's paintings
when you
are
just
peacefully
smash it.
residing with him. Harlan Crow decided
And
to
again,
take
like,
Hitler's painting.
what are we supposed to learn from preserving Hitler's teapot? That Hitler was a cruel asshole who drank tea during the fucking Holocaust? So we preserve his fucking water glass and his fucking slippers and his fucking wash rag? Like, we get it. He was a man. He did things that other people do as he lived out his fucked up ass life. Should we preserve his dog's fucking collar? This is just bullshit. There's absolutely zero educational or historical value to a fucking Nazi's teapot.
Things out of their normal display position when he was doing a fundraiser for failed presidential candidate Marco Rubio in 2015. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz complained then publicly that Marco Rubio was going into a home with Hitler's paintings for a fundraiser. So Only in 2015 did it occur to Harlan Crow that maybe Hitler's paintings shouldn't be on prominent public display in his home. Now, the biggest, most prominent painting on display in his home is a portrait of his best friend, Clarence Thomas, which seems hardly controversial at all.
Again, come on. They're just rubbing our noses
Hitler's
in it.
Paintings hanging
just
there instead.
Rubbing it in, rubbing our noses in
a
it.
Copy of Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, signed by Adolf Hitler. So when Harlan Crow is holding
Get the fuck out of
in
here.
his hands,
Gang, I have myself, out of literal interest, in this historic figure, myself, got myself a copy for reading of fucking Mein Kampf, produced by one Adolf Hitler. Do you guys know how I got my hands on that copy of Mein Kampf to read it? See, what I did was I picked up my phone and I called my dad, and I was like, hey, Dad, do you know any fucking rich-ass billionaires who have a just weird-ass side hobby of preserving Nazi memorabilia? I'm really hoping to read Hitler's Mein Kampf. You know, I'm just trying to get an understanding of the historical significance of the document. Oh, you do know a couple? And they have Nazi memorabilia? Really? Oh my goodness, could you go? And then I called them. I had my people call their people. We arranged a showing. I came over. I had some tea and crumpets, ate a couple of burgers off the grill, and got myself a little private reading of Hitler's Mein Kampf. And you know I had to get one that was autographed. Now, gang, in an effort to be completely honest with you guys, I have to admit that everything I just told you is obviously motherfucking bullshit, a complete fabrication, or a goddamn lie, however you want to put it. The honesty compels me to tell you I was just lying to you. Obviously, as a goddamn undergraduate at Penn State University, go State, okay? Go Nittany Lions, all right? What I did was I went to the motherfucking library. I found the copy of Mein Kampf that the fucking library at the goddamn university has, and then I took it off the goddamn shelf. I sat myself at one of them fucking old-ass wooden tables with the weird-ass green lamps. It is so stereotypical, it's disgusting. And I sat there and I fucking paged through the shit of the motherfucking Mein Kampf written by Hitler's monkey ass. Again, there is no educational or historic preservation significance of you maintaining shit like this in your home to show off to your fucked up ass bigoted buddies who obviously celebrate this type of fucking totalitarian ideology because they are literally the agents of totalitarianism in fucking contemporary modern day America. Get the fuck out of here.
He knows that Hitler himself held this particular copy of this book in his hands. I think I might feel as if my hands were on fire if I were forced to touch that book. How does Harlan Crow feel when he holds Hitler's book signed?
It's sickening Columbine memorabilia, assholes.
We don't know. The Atlantic doesn't know. Harlan Crow tells The Atlantic, it's kind of weird to think that if you're a justice on the Supreme Court, you can't have friends. Of course you can have friends.
Fuck out of here.
If you're on the Supreme Court, they all have friends. That's not the issue, but it is entirely possible that Harlan Crow is not intelligent enough to actually see what.
Also, gang, wrong again. Wrong again and again and again. This is the fucking problem with the situation. The situation is specific. You have to take into context the situation that we're talking about. Who are we talking about, gang? We are talking about Clarence Fuckface Thomas. Gang, I will give you a moment to list 5 redeemable characteristics about Clarence Fuckface Thomas. Okay, I'm kidding. We don't have all fucking year. I will give you just a moment to name 3 redeeming characteristics about Clarence fucking Thomas. Again, gang, I'm fucking bullshitting you. We are not going to be here all summer. I will give you just a moment to name me 1. That's it. Just 1 redeeming characteristic about Clarence Fuckface Thomas. Oh, wait. Gang, I'm fucking kidding. We are not gonna be here all goddamn summer just to have you, I heard this one, there isn't any. So it is entirely fucking possible that Clarence Fuckface Thomas can't have any friends. It is entirely possible that the number of people who have warm, fuzzy feelings inside about Clarence Fuckface Thomas and call him a friend for anything the rest of the human population would consider a normal, non-utilitarian reason to have a fucking friend is fucking 0. Absolutely, it is somewhere in my estimation between 0 and fucking 0. That's it. That's the entire fucking range. So everybody who is friends with Clarence Thomas, quote unquote friends, it's air quote friends. There's some sort of corrupt, fucked up ass shit going on. Get the fuck out of here. There is absolutely possible that, and only an idiot billionaire would say some stupid shit like, how is it possible that one of the most corrupt politicians ever to live doesn't have, what is this guy? He can't have any friends anymore, huh? He can't just come over to my garden of evil and sip at Hitler's teapot? I mean, isn't this fucking America? These people.
The real issue is Harlan Crow was not asked if he thinks there's the slightest chance that he would have befriended Clarence Thomas if Clarence Thomas were not a Supreme Court justice. Harlan Crow went out of his way to meet Clarence Thomas by giving him a ride on his private jet in the 4th year of Clarence Thomas's service on the Supreme Court.
I love Secularity's list.
He says they have discovered we share a love of Motown.
Exactly. You hear this bullshit?
Complains to the Atlantic, if I go out and help an old lady across the street this afternoon, there'll be something written about my diabolical purpose and evil intent.
There probably should be, yeah.
Has he ever helped an old lady across the street? Would he help her across the street?
Exactly.
If she were not a Supreme Court justice? Despite his attempts to appear normal and sound
I would
normal,
absolutely be suspicious of Harlan Crow walking an old lady across the street. And if you were that old lady, I suggest you preemptively do whatever form of self-defense you can. If that just means bashing him upside the head with a walker, it's fine. I promise you, you will walk. No criminal charges. I saw Harlan Crow approaching me. Oh, let her go. Let her go. Self-defense. This dude's a fucking threat to democracy. Harlan Crow is a living, breathing, walking threat to democracy. So everybody just on site considers him a threat to their life. It makes perfect sense to me. It's a Loctite case. Easy.
Somewhere far beyond odd. About the Hitler paintings and Hitler possessions in his home, Harlan Crow told The Atlantic, the idea that I might offend somebody, particularly
I know the motto, you see a Nazi, you punch him in the face, right? Like, what are we talking about? What seems to be the problem?
I never want to do that. Harlan Crow was not asked if he has any Jewish friends. Did he think Debbie Wasserman Schultz was kidding when she publicly expressed her offense that Harlan Crow gave Hitler's paintings and his teapot a happy home? Harlan Crow was born in Texas in 1947. He was educated in the Deep South at the height of the Civil Rights Movement. How did he feel about that? The Atlantic doesn't know, and the Atlantic didn't ask.
Yeah, Secularity. The thing I love about Lawrence is that he like Joy Reid has like that mainstream platform where they have to play things hella straight, but he loves shitting all over the fucking right-wing fucktards, and so he has to do it in his best professional, late night newsman voice, but you can just feel how much he wants to tear these people apart and how much he enjoys shitting on them, and I'm here for it.
To college in Atlanta while Martin Luther King was preaching to his Atlanta congregation across town. Martin Luther King Jr. was the most famous
He, like
person
me, genuinely
living
hates these
in
people.
Atlanta when Harlan Crow went to college there. What did Harlan Crow think about Martin Luther King? The Atlantic did not ask. One of Harlan Crow's neighbors is Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. Here is Jerry Jones in Little Rock, Arkansas, when President Eisenhower used the American military to force the integration of a public high school there. Jerry Jones was among the...
Gang, I'm a Cowboys fan, but look, check it. Gang, this is, and I need Christians to pay attention to this. I need every Christian in the audience, and I know there are just so many Christians watching every day, hanging off my every word. I need y'all to pay attention to this, because think about where you would be lined up on various social and political issues, because we can take a snapshot, and y'all can see the line right here, right? Here's the line. Do-do-do-do-do. Y'all see it, right? It's right where, there's one side facing this way, and then there's the other side. They're facing off, right? And even the cameras are pointed like down the line, right? Like it's right here. And so it's such a visual of what? I don't even have to say the words, but we're just gonna say it anyway. This is literally a snapshot that captures your monkey ass on the wrong side of history. Like it's literally a perfect, like a. Like, it's a little encapsulation of, yeah, you, in fact, were actually, literally on the wrong side of history, gang. And y'all got to pay attention, because there's a lot of people who are still on that wrong side of history. If we took this snapshot right now, when we play this shit back, y'all gonna look real fucked up. I suggest you switch it on up, because this right here is in fact a bad look. Objectively, it's just a bad look to be caught up in the snapshot on the wrong side of history.
Of a public high school there. Jerry Jones was among the protesters. Jerry Jones was there to protest integration and cheer on and try to maintain segregation. What was Harlan Crow doing that day? What was he feeling as the whole country watched that horrible display of racism in Little Rock, Arkansas that day? The whole country was watching. Has Harlan Crow ever talked to his neighbor Jerry Jones about that day? There are no segregationists in Harlan Crow's Garden of Evil. There are no American slave owners in Harlan Crow's Garden of Evil. Harlan Crow claims to abhor Donald Trump, but there is no Trump statue in the Garden of Evil.
Well done, well done. All right, gang. It is time for the main event of the afternoon. But I love it. That's kind of a little bit of news, but let's wrap this thing on up with some counter apologetics. So we happen to have this beautiful Nubian queen, Indigo Soul. Little bit shocked here. So I just noticed she only has like 110,000. She only has 110 subscribers, even though this video has like 6K views. So I think she had a video do real well, but her channel's still small. So definitely go give them a sub. Let me go ahead and take a moment here to drop the channel link in the, she's got some, she just put up a video 8 days ago. All right. So it's a small. She's just getting started. Just getting started. Awesome. Awesome. Really cool. All right. Let's go ahead. Hang on. Let me pop this with you guys into the stream chat through Discord. I'll pull up my Discord real fast. There it is. There's a stream chat. Look at me. Look at me. Plugging people. And now it'll be there in the Discord too. Let me get my background back up. All right, gang. We are ready to jump into this shit. I'm really excited about this. So this is her video called Why I Left Christianity. And look, it's just another, we're just fueling up, gang. We're trying to really get back in touch with the basics about, you know, why it's time to let go of Christianity, where different people are coming from. So I'm excited to have another deconstruction story to respond to, and at the same time find another content creator. So please do go like this video, leave a comment, and definitely give Indigo Soul a sub. Let them know Cousin Jay sent you.
If you happen to find yourself here again, I'm sure you see the title, so you know what we're talking about today. And I feel like I have to talk about this personally because I don't see a whole lot of people talking about it, at least not people who look like me. And I feel like oftentimes we're kind of shamed for not being Christians as Black people, and it's just like, hey,
yep,
listen,
facts.
Everybody's not the same, you know? So
let's give her some more juice. This is gonna
just be like 5 of the main reasons. It's not all of them by any means, but these are like the 5 big ones. And I'm not trying to like send any hate to anybody who happens to still be a Christian or anything like that. Nah, this is just what I saw, and these are factors that contributed to me just having to kind of wash my hands of Christianity. So yeah, I do have some notes that I took, and so if you see me looking down, I'm just kind of reading everything so I can keep everything together. I don't want to miss anything, but yeah. So one of the first things that I kind of noticed in church was there was a social hierarchy, and that to me never really made sense, even as a kid, because in my mind we're all the same, you know, like we're all servants of Jesus, are supposed to be. So, you know, why are you mistreating one particular person or one group of people, and you like revere this other group? Mind you, especially at the very first church that I went to, the people who were like closest to the pastor and everything like that were some of the most corrupt people in like the church. So
all right, let's get it. Let's go. This is awesome. Okay, why am I so excited? This is something that rarely gets discussed, right? So I'm really excited that she brought up something that is like just not something we necessarily hear all the time. All right, so let me see. Whoa. I'm getting, this is weird. Let me see. There's a name. God damn, remembered it. All right. Let me see. I want to see if I can find these core design principles. There's a reason why. They're, God damn it, it's just so hard for me to find. All right. So anyway, there's a framework called Core Design Principles of like successful groups that I like have used a lot. Let me see. I'll probably pull it up. Let me put myself on camera. But one of the things that's part of it is basically the idea that when people have like elevated privileges within a group, it should come because they have like a like an according amount of more responsibility to the group. So the example I like to use is I don't have a problem with my advisor, sometimes having like a, supervisory role in my life and the benefits that come along with having a supervisory role in my life, because he has to take responsibility for like trying to develop my career and the career of everybody else in the lab. I don't have to pay any fucking attention or consideration to his career. He has to make sure I'm paid up, have my benefits, and get the shit I need. I don't ever concern myself with, does he have a sufficient computer, and is he getting his health benefits, right? So that's kind of an example. So I don't know, like that's something I think a lot about. Because most of us are in situations where that's not really the case. So, for instance, like universities are, like most places, god-awful in terms of hierarchy and the benefits and privileges that come along with higher positions in the hierarchy are not commensurate with the additional responsibilities. And on top of that, the responsibilities to the people that these people like are supervising is usually like way down on the fucking list of their priorities. So there's all sorts of problems, right? And that's the type of inequity that she's getting at, right? So I say that to say, like, for me, it's a really awesome point to bring up because I don't hear it enough talked about in the context of deconstruction or deconversion. But I love the fact that it's not about like a blanket, condemnation of people having different positions, but it's recognizing the abuse of the hierarchy or how people are treated differently. Why do people need to be treated differently, right? Even if, like, let's say somebody's a senior in my family or a senior in my workforce or a content creator with, a bigger channel, we should still be able to interact and build a relationship between one another in a way that's equitable, right? So I don't know. That was dope. Wanted to ramble. Let's go.
Y'all are doing the most dirt. Why are you trying to act like you're better than me?
Y'all doing the most dirt. Let's go.
Another thing was there's just when this corruption did happen, it was almost like it wasn't supposed to make it out into like public church knowledge at least. And so like that's point number 2, like there was kind of like a don't ask, don't tell policy in place at pretty much every church organization that I went to, that I was at for like long extended periods of time that I got to see. And that if something happens, I think everybody has the right to know. Prime example of this, I was 14 and happened to go on a youth church trip. And on this trip, some of the teenagers decided that they wanted to be a little grown, and engage in some grown activity. And there were 4 people who engaged in this activity, 2 boys and 2 girls. And when we got back, it happened to get back to the pastor that this happened. Well, caused a huge backlash, not only with the youth pastor at the time, but also with all of us because we didn't say anything. And so the 4 who engaged in whatever happened were expected to come back to church and talk about it, to give their reasoning why they did it, etc., etc. Well, the 2 girls showed up and were literally forced to stand in front of the church and talk about what happened and why they did it.
Public
but the two
shaming
boys,
them.
mind you, one of them was the
Wow.
pastor's son,
Whoops.
and one of them was like the assistant pastor's son. The two boys didn't show up, were never called at like a later service to say anything, none of that. And that caused such a big rift. I think one of the girls' parents ended up leaving the church, and then
Hell
the other
yeah.
girl,
Yeah,
they
I'm
didn't
out.
stay very
What?
much longer
Yep,
after that
I'm
either,
out.
because
Yep. Good for
why
them.
would you hold these girls to one standard and then try and hold your
And again,
your own children
and again,
to?
it is what it is, gang, because these are the same people that oh my goodness, the worst you could be subjected to is Christian sexual education. But you know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to roll up their sleeves, and you're like, holy shit, Christians are about to get to work, helping us on some real issues. No, gang. They're only rolling up their sleeves for demonstration purposes. See what they're going to do is they're going to grab some tape, right? They're going to just slay it all over them fucking arm hairs, right? And they're gonna rip that shit off in front of kids. Ah! And they're gonna be like, oh my goodness, you notice how adhesive it is? You notice how hard it fucking stick? Notice how it just ripped all the hair out of my arm the first time? And then they're gonna put it on, they're gonna put it on, and then they're gonna pull it off. And the second time they'll be like, it actually came off. It actually came off kind of easy. And they're gonna put it on, and they just keep to right. And then what are they gonna do? They're gonna say, now, ladies, this is what it is like when you are with different men over and over. When you are just repeatedly doing the nasty, bumping the uglies with man after man after man after man after man. Because you know there's only two sexes, and you know how it is. Women have sex with men, and that's the only thing that ever happens. All right. And then you like, but see, then you won't bond. You won't bond, and then when God brings you the perfect husband, you're not going to be able to bond with him because you're not going to be sticky anymore. And he's gonna be like, ew, I don't want you. You're not sticky. Now, you're gonna have to ignore the fact that he was, he played college football and he was just knocking them down the line and knocking down. No, I'm not talking about offensive linemen. I'm talking about knocking the boots with people he wasn't married to. But that's not an issue. Because, in order for you guys to have a righteous and holy marriage, he is going to have to deal with your sexual promiscuity before you became his bride. So, hell yeah, sisters, you gotta get up out of there. The misogyny is all up in the air when you're in the Christian church. Good on y'all for just, it takes a long time. You brought up in it. It just feels like home, But like a lot of people, you realize your home is kind of fucked up. Time to find a new place to dwell. So good on y'all.
To another standard, mind you, a couple years down the line, the pastor's son ended up having a child out of wedlock. So, it was kind of in there. And I'm not shaming him. You know what I'm saying? That's not a shaming tactic. But if you're going to shame these two girls, then you have to also hold your sons to the same standard. And they tried to keep, I wouldn't bring that up if they didn't try to keep the child a secret, because the pastor didn't want the greater church family to know that his son had a child out of wedlock, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? Wrong,
Carrie Ann. Up, see, Carrie Ann. You had 2 of the 3 steps, but you're still going to hell because if you say unless you're married and only for reproduction, you still might try it from behind, or you might do it in one of them freaky positions on the couch. But what I thought you're supposed to only do it in missionary. And then is it okay to use any protection? Like, can you regulate how many kids you have, or are you supposed to be free falling where you just get knocked up as many times as the Holy Spirit would have you? Because I know Christians on both sides of the fence. Obviously, I'm fucking with you. Christianity makes no sense, and I don't know how anybody could figure this shit out. But I'm pretty sure, according to anybody's version of Christianity, everybody else is somehow going to hell.
I don't care. Most of the church didn't care. You know what I'm saying? They were a little taken aback, but it's just like, yo, at this time it was 2014 or 2013, something like that. It is what it is. It's a thing. It happens. You know what I'm saying?
Doggy styles on your knees for Christ.
That to me just never made sense. Why you have
I've met those girls that won't kiss somebody because they're worried about being too loose for Jesus.
They don't get down.
They're not fun to date.
Third thing that I kind of noticed was there was a complete, I won't say a complete, but in a lot of cases, there was a lack of empathy that the pastors tend to have, like outside of like actual service, you know what I'm saying? There was one particular instance at my very last church that I ever went to where in the service.
Also, gang, who are these guys, right? Like, who are these guys that are like passing? They have all this choice amongst women. The women are just lining up. You know, they got a Rolodex full of women. Yeah, I'm using an old reference. Go fuck yourself. All right. Now, how many of them are just like, you know what? I think this woman is amazing. She's beautiful. She's lovely. She's, you know, she's gonna hold it down. She's gonna be a great mother, wife, whatever the blase and Laven, which I know me, I'm not out here looking for a wife. I have no idea what people are looking for. But she's got all of those things. And then you're like, ooh, but she's not a virgin, y'all. Ooh, she's not a virgin, y'all. Like, yeah, you know. Yeah. Remember that girl I was gonna bring home? Yeah, yeah. I know. I told you she was perfect. No. But I found out she's a little bit too experienced in a worldly kind of way. It's not gonna work. I'm sorry. I gotta go bite. Like what? Who does that? And then who are these extra serious brothers, the extra serious ones who find the perfect woman and she's also a virgin? Oh, but she made out with her boyfriend in high school. Oh, she's never been kissed. Ooh, that's like, I don't know. You might as well made porno where dudes run a train on you and do anal because I don't. What? I mean, you made out with your boyfriend in high school. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Nobody's like that. That's not real Christians.
With me, you know what I'm saying? We sat, talked, great conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, really felt like he was trying to get to know me, like make a connection. Well, the very next Sunday that I came back, there happened to be there was something going on after service, and I wanted to just kind of sit and talk to the pastor because, you know, we had a great conversation last week. You know what I'm saying? And it's outside of church or whatever. It's after church, but, you know, why not? Go up, trying to talk to him. He could not be, like, he couldn't care less what I was trying to talk to him about. Couldn't care less, totally dismissive. And it wasn't just me. He was pretty much like that with almost, well, I'm not going to say that. I would say he was dismissive like that with people who looked like me. Let's just say it that way. Which again, is a major problem. We are all the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're getting up here and you're talking about how, you know, Jesus died for all of our sins, right? That includes you. That includes me. So again, why are you trying to mistreat me? That don't work. And honestly, that particular instance was where I kind of washed my hands of the Christian church. And the thing for me that solidified it was going in and studying, not really studying, just taking a step back and looking at my overall experience with church and doing some, I guess, a little bit of studying and like research as far as like the history of Christianity. And what I found, I could not in good conscience continue on a Christianity. This was what was used to enslave my people. You know what I'm saying? My father's Liberian, so I have a direct connection back to the motherland. Like, if this was used to take Black people from Africa and brought over here, and it was a tool that was first used to strip them of their identity as, like, where they come from, their tribal identity, and then also as a method of then continuing to keep them subdued and in control, taking away their culture, their cultural identity once they got here to the motherland, and then for 400 years continued to be implemented on their children and their children.
And y'all have hopefully heard the studies that they still do this to us. What do I mean by this? They hated our names so much. Like, oh, you know, I'm gonna be an asshole. But they're like, nah, you can't call yourself all that clickety-clackety nonsense. Like, they didn't write our names, just didn't sound like proper names, so they changed our names. But now, what are they doing? Well, a lot of y'all hopefully are aware of the research that shows that, like, if you take applications and basically change nothing on them but manipulating the name to be white sounding or black sounding, and if you want to get real fancy with it, the criminal history, you will actually find that just having a black sounding name makes you not only much worse odds of getting a job than a white person, but you actually have the same or worse odds of getting a job as a white person with a criminal record, even if you don't have one. Just because you have a black sounding name. Now, if you're aware of this and other forms of racism that black people experience and have to try to do the most we can to shield ourselves from, right? It makes it like you got a tough choice to make. Like, do you really want to, you know, name your child something that honors like a culture that's foreign to this environment and this culture? Because that can have severe consequences. And so that, honestly, to me, feels like a form of suppressing our names that people don't even think about, because it becomes risky, to say the least, just to name black children something that sounds too black. That's crazy.
Children, et cetera, as a tool of demeaning and overall just like keeping them enslaved mentally. How could I in good conscience,
they just don't need the chains
saying
anymore.
That I love myself, how could I in good conscience continue to live my life under the label and the guise of Christianity? I could not do it. I refused to do that vehemently. I had to let it go. Like, it doesn't work, and it's honest. It like
pause the tape, gang. I'm feeling bad. I already gave away my Talking Head of the Day award. How about we just give away the Content Creator of the Day award? We'll just present another one. But no, seriously, man. Like, it's so empowering, especially for me, to hear about other black atheists, you know, realizing how particularly black American Christianity really is, and how it's a total disservice to the history we are conditioned to honor. And I'm glad about that, right? I wouldn't want to be a black American who's not aware of exactly what it means to be a black American. But if you are going to insist that black people and black children are raised with race consciousness and awareness of the historical significance, then it's just very validating to hear that other people recognize, like, oh shit, well, if that's the case, I can't get down with this Christianity thing, because, yeah, like she said, y'all use this to enslave my people. You know, it has a slavery manual nested within it, right? Even Jesus himself, you know, gave very anti-liberation messaging to slaves. So sorry, that's got to be a deal breaker for black people. And I have other issues related to that, but I'll just leave it at that for now. I really do appreciate that.
Calling myself a Christian, if I still was, that would be disrespectful to my ancestors.
Boom, there it is.
I don't want to do that. I cannot
Stop
do that. I refuse to do that.
This is what it is.
I had to like let it go, you know, and it's honestly been one of the most freeing experiences I can honestly say I've ever had in my life. The amount of just mental anguish, stress, and bondage I felt like I was under for all those years that I, proclaimed Christianity for myself. I have never, I was a Christian, but I wanted to kill myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's not supposed to be a thing. Christianity teaches, on the surface, it teaches you love and acceptance and all these things. Well, how can you teach love and acceptance that sounds good, but that's not what's actually being carried out in the broader scheme of the church. And it happens all over. It's literally all over. Look at the corruption that goes on in the the Catholic Church. How they're always trying to hide stuff, shifting all these people around, to keep a secret. Come on now. We cannot ignore the lack of true love and togetherness that exists. At least I can't, I couldn't, and I refuse to do that or subject anybody that might come through my line to that. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, that's just a few of the reasons, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, there are many more reasons why I'm not a Christian, but these are, I would say, the big 5. So, and that's another thing. This is off topic. This isn't one of the 5, but this is something I noticed, that there is a complete lack of actual love for Mother Earth when Mama Earth gives us everything. You know what I'm saying? We get food from her, we get shelter from her, we get water from her. And it's almost just like a non-factor when it comes to Christianity. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't you want to love on and appreciate and nurture the very being that kind of gave you life? Come on, and then to disregarding the ancestors when you wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't be here without them.
Ooh, that's for black people.
You would not exist without your ancestors.
She's going all at the end. She just
I'm sorry, it's a lot. So I could literally talk about this all day. But yeah, that's just some of the reasons why I'm no longer a Christian. If you got anything out of this, let me know down in the comments section.
Go ahead, y'all already know y'all gotta like that video, subscribe, give her extra watch.
Yeah,
takes 30 seconds.
Go out there, live your best life. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's Christian or not. I'm not trying to sway anybody with this video to leave Christianity. I'm literally just giving you my personal reasons as to why I left. You know what I'm saying? Take this information and use it how you will. This is just for me and mine. So yeah, that was the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a like down below. Leave me a comment. And I hope to see you guys in a future video. Peace and love and light to you all. Deuces.
Yes, that was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Really, really did a fantastic job with that. Yeah, I'm really into that. That was fantastic. Also just shows you right there why got to pay more attention to female voices, got to pay more attention to voices of color, because there's a uniqueness in the perspective, right? The fact that she noticed how differently these girls were treated than these young boys. That's that's missing when so much of the conversation is had amongst men, even in deconversion spaces, right? Even in the atheist community, right? Misogyny is conspicuously not on the table. Really realizing how how problematic Christianity is when it comes to the history of slavery and racism in America, and continues to be used, right? Because again, are black people just supposed to close our eyes and pretend that we don't notice that the party and people of God also happen to be the party and people of suppressing black people? And then the continued insistence that Christianity dominate our personal lives is quite horrifying when you put it together. So there you have it, like right there. It's like when you hear from a black queen, it's like boom, misogyny, boom, racism, right off the bat. Again, because when you're speaking from experience, not authority, man, great callback. What a quote. You have these things on the table as part of your lived experience at all times, every single time. And when you don't, these things are conspicuously absent from the conversation. And when they come up, they're dismissed. Therefore, the people who are impacted by them also see themselves outdoor, which, by the way, they're basically told to. And the cycle continues because people then think it's okay to continue to not recognize these people's lived experience. So really, really appreciated that video. Definitely gonna add that to my some of my personal playlist. And yeah, fantastic work. All right, gang, let me get up out of here. Try to handle a couple things for this move. So appreciate y'all. There's a link pinned in the chat. There's also a link in the description. Come join us and gather. That's where we'll be. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Love you guys. Said I'm gone.
Why she wanna leave me alone? Saying all I do is wrong. No rights when they been left turns. Playing that she gotta let it burn. Saying that the house not a home. Sunshine cause she heard it all before. Sometimes she don't wanna be alone. Most times she don't want me gone. She don't know I try my all. She don't know I sprung in the sun, but I'm going in the winter, so we good to the fall. Remember how I told you I get it and I win. Now I'm got it, you ain't answer my call. Wonder if I've been moving too strong. Maybe I just been moving too balls. Really hate when the feeling get lost. Nowadays she just dodge my calls. In the game throwing laws like Paul. Young legend Miss John like Wall. And I wish you never met like Carl. Thick game lay it down like law. Made plans but you canceled them all. I was just trying to splurge in the mall. Now I'm home stacking bread till you call. It's time to roll. She tryna slide. We smoking Zah. Stop acting shy. Cause you a demon when I get between your thighs, girl. You like my rib, you know I need you by my side, girl. It's time to roll. She tryna ride. We smoking. Stop acting shy. Cause you a demon when I get between your thighs, girl. You like my rib, you know I need you by my side, girl.
We smoking that side. I'm trying to get high. She said that she not ready for love, stop wasting my time. I got demons in my closet.